There's a new kid on the block on the bed and breakfast scene in North Carolina, but she's in the form of an old and elegant friend. You'll find Thomas Walton Manor in the town of Laurinburg, halfway between Charlotte and Wilmington, and Karen Reed tells us it's a destination in and of itself.
Ever since 1939, when the last brick was laid, this house on Church Street has been the house in Laurinburg. Now it's starting to be the destination for people looking for a taste of gracious living.
And if you're from the South, this means the Old South, the wealth of the Old South. And he's brought it back to modern day times.
The he in question is Larry Horn, a Laurinburg native who came back home to create the Thomas Walton Manor with co-owner Ron Phillips.
I always like beautiful homes, and it's really thrilling to own one.
The fact that it had been a bit neglected and forgotten, it had a certain appeal to it. And Larry said, I think I can do something with this place. And there was no question in my mind that he could.
From the cozy, knotty pine-paneled library to an elegant sitting room with chairs meant for lounging, not looking, Larry's sense of style shines through.
Even though this house is absolutely elegant, you feel like you can live in it. I mean, we stayed upstairs. I didn't avoid any piece of furniture. I did things just like I would have done anywhere else.
Speaking of upstairs, that's where the majority of the 6 guest rooms are. And there's plenty of room to relax, especially in the Anne McBride suite, which boasts not just one huge bedroom, but 2. They're connected by a dressing room and share 1.5 bathrooms.
I had a lot of stuff over the years. I'd collected things in my travels, and I never really had this much room to display them, so I got to get all those boxes unpacked, and it was like a jigsaw puzzle. Where do you put what?
The gourmet breakfasts served at the Thomas Walton Manor are the perfect accompaniment to the surroundings. While guests dip into dishes like baked French toast, Ann Moberg, their chef extraordinaire, is whipping up even more food to add to the feast, with the help from Ron.
I could not do a table and all this food without their help. And Larry, Mr. Horn, is such a gracious hostess and very kind person to work for.
As a child, Larry longed to explore what was on the other side of the Iron Gate, but it took him several decades to be able to do it. First, he had to have a more than 30-year career as an interior designer based in Washington, D.C., with a client list that included diplomats, ambassadors, kings, and princes. But even though he's traveled the world, he never forgot about that special house in Laurinburg, North Carolina.
So when it came on the market,
I looked at it and I thought, wow, I don't need this to live in, but what could I do? I don't want a funeral home. So I thought a bed and breakfast would be a neat idea and a good retirement project, so here I am.
A big part of that project, the spectacular gardens, recently garnered them an award. Preservation North Carolina saluted the owners for staying true to the original landscape plans.
It had been designed in 1939 by Charles Gillette, who is now considered the preeminent landscape architect for colonial restoration gardens.
And when they added something like the pump house, gazebo, and the pool, they used Charles Gillette designs. And it's not just Preservation North Carolina that's taking notice.
We've been all over the world and seen things that, and you don't see the detail, and you don't see the way he's done things. Everything is just absolutely perfect as the way that it should be done for the style that he's created here.
He makes you feel at home. This is not a museum. It's something he wants people to come and enjoy.
And discover the unexpected in his hometown. In Laurinburg, Karen Reed for North Carolina Weekend.
For more information on the Thomas Walton Manor, you can call them at 910-276-0551 or visit their website at thomaswaltonmanor.com.